Okay, I'm here with Dick Dixon, Predator International Pellets.
John?
Good to see you again.
Seeing you.
You having a good show?
It is. It's been a very good show. It's our opportunity to see customers that we sometimes would never have a chance to see throughout the year, and so it's kind of a reunion time for us. We get to thank our customers for their business.
No, it feels like that to me too. I mean, I see you here every year pretty much. And
Exactly.
it's always a very something I look forward to, stopping by and chatting.
Sure,
with you.
well, we appreciate it.
Now, you're pretty much all JSP at this point.
We're JSB. We have one small line of Chinese pellets called the QY pellets,
Oh, right.
and they're competition pellets. But 99.9% of our business is either Predator branded products, which are the polymags, metal mags, and GTOs, and then the balance is JSB. So yes.
All right, great. And I understand we got a couple of new products coming out this
Well, I'm
year.
glad you asked that. We do. Last year we introduced the Hades pellets,
Right, yeah.
and we introduced those in the 22 and 25 caliber. This year we're going to come out with the 177 caliber, and they're a perfect pellet for rodent control, pigeon control,
Right.
and they're very accurate.
Yeah, I think we call them frangible.
They're
Is that
frangible.
right?
Yeah, they break
And
apart.
for those of us from Humboldt County, California, that means that they explode when you
There you go.
when they hit something.
Right. They've got it almost looks like the old radiation design in the top of it, and because of that, they're a domed pellet, which are very, very accurate.
Right.
So we combine that with this frangible aspect, and so they're accurate and they hit and mushroom out tremendously.
It's a great pellet if you're getting rid of pests or light hunting kind of stuff. So we're going 177.
So we'll have 177, 22, and 25s.
Okay, great.
Then the next thing that's every year we come to the show, there's new and exciting things, almost sometimes like fads.
Yeah.
You know, this year or when we first started, everything was 177 caliber.
Mm-hmm.
Then the 22s came, then the 25s, then the bigger bores, the 30, the 35. Now it's the 45s and 50s, and then the air bolts, the arrows and stuff. But the other thing within the air gun industry right now, the hot thing is slugs.
Right.
And slugs offer a really high ballistic coefficient, and so they're really, really powerful.
Right. And we have the air power now. A few years back, it was hard to push that slug.
We couldn't produce that kind of air, that power.
Yeah.
So now, with the advent of high compression, tanks and cylinders that can handle it, we're pushing a lot of weight
Right.
at a mighty fine clip.
Right. Oh, exactly.
So we came out and developed a product line called the KOs or the Knockouts, and we're introducing those. In fact, they'll be in on the first container comes in February. Late February, and those will be the 22s. And they're going to come in 3 diameters, the 21 5s, 21 6s, and 21 7s. And the reason for that is that there's so many different barrel designs.
Right.
And we needed to match that. So the KO slugs, initially in the 22s, will have 3 different diameters. Directly after that, we're going to come out with the 25 and the 30 cal KOs.
Okay.
And again, multiple diameters to fit the requirements of different brands of guns and the different types of barrels.
Well, and for most barrels, there's a choke or there's a taper. There's something where it necks down that prior to the leaving the muzzle. And so when we talk about 22, it's not truly 22. It's something a little bit less in that barrel. So that makes a lot of sense. And these are all pretty heavy too. I mean, they're slugs.
They're like the 22s are roughly 25 and a half grain, and you know, the 30s and 35s will be they'll be pretty heavy. Yeah,
Right.
but one of the things that air gun shooters need to realize about slugs is that they travel so much further. So if you're shooting comfortably at 100 yards, with a slug you could be looking at 200 yards. So shooters have to really be more cautious
Right.
with slugs because of the distance that they can travel, and so they have to get used to that additional travel.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Especially if you've got an elevated shot, you better know what's on the other side of
You
it.
have to know now. Yeah,
Well, and that's just basic safety.
it is. It is.
For any kind of gun.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the slugs are a big part of what's new for us in 2020. We're also coming out with, especially for you Californians, but for everybody in general, a lead-free slug. So it's going to be initially in a 22 caliber, and it is it's made of tin, and it's light. It's a lighter.
Any expectation on what that pellet will weigh?
Probably around 16 grains.
Okay.
So
Which is light by modern standards.
exactly, and then in a slug format, it's gonna carry.
Yeah.
So and again, it's for those people that want a green pellet, a non-lead pellet, and in California that's becoming a factor. In particular in California. But,
Well, it's not prohibited today,
right.
but we can see that coming very
We
soon.
want to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And our GTO line was established, it was called Get the Lead Out,
Right. I remember.
but it was established so that it's an option for those that are concerned about lead, shoot in areas where there's wildlife that could be affected, that GTO offers an alternative.
Well, it makes sense. So I'm glad to see you're moving into other products with the lead-free.
Well, in addition then to the slug, we've had the 177 GTO lead-free in two formats, a wad cutter and a dome. We've had the 22 and the 25 now for several years. Now we're coming out with a 30 and a 35 lead-free, and that'll be available this summer. So we got a lot of new items. We're trying to keep up with the demand of the shooters and also the technology of the guns. So guns are improving constantly.
You know, I can remember when you could buy a 177 or a 22, and that was your choice.
Yeah,
And now it's starting to be like going to a shoe store and buying tennis shoes. There's
exactly.
an infinite number of choices. For you.
Well, and it's an investment now too. So, you know, I mean, you can still buy a $150 or $99 air gun, but most people now understand that there's a difference in performance,
Right.
and so they're investing $200 and $300, $400, $500, and upwards of thousands of dollars for a gun,
Right.
and they want the ammunition that will perform best
Right.
in those guns.
Yeah. We didn't talk about this earlier, but last year you were very excited about the 20 caliber. Seemed to be doing quite well all of a sudden.
And it is. When we say it's doing, the sales are increasing dramatically. Dramatic in a 20 caliber is not the same as a slug. Where the sales are just going crazy.
Right.
But people are finding that the 20 caliber is a good gun to compete with. It's a good gun to shoot. It's got more pack and punch than a 177, but not the 22 and 25 type of velocities. So for backyard plinking and out in grandma's backyard kind of thing, the 20 caliber is still a good gun. And there's still quite a few of the manufacturers, the gun manufacturers out there producing a 20 caliber.
So 20's not going away.
I hope not. personally, I like the 20 caliber. Yeah.
I didn't talk to you about this either, but I keep reading on the internet about people seasoning their barrels. In other words, they shoot for a while and they say their accuracy improves as the barrel fouls. Have you heard of that?
I have. I don't know how true that is, though. Yes, I have heard that. There's been discussion about that.
I'm just curious.
I'm like you. I clean my barrels all the time, or probably more than I should. But
Right.
yeah, that's
kind of counterintuitive.
yeah.
To me.
I don't understand it, but that's
If
probably
it works
true.
for them,
Absolutely.
if that's how you do it and you're happy with it,
It's kind of like the placebo pills. If you think it works and you feel better, then do it.
yeah, that's
You know.
exactly right. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking a minute here,
thank
Dick.
you.
Good to see you as always.
We're going to see you for the next 10 years.
I hope so, and you as well.
It would be too. Thank you, John.
All right. Thanks.
Oh.